Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. Let me just adjust myself, my friends. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Greetings to all. Thank you for the really supportive messages that you have been sharing with us. Thank you for and also the feedback on meditation with a candle. We started watching meditations with candles, and just in memory of all those who have struggled before you in your ancestors. And if you look at about 9 generations, it works out around 4,000 individuals were responsible for you to be who you are. So this lighting this candle, it was just acknowledgement of that. Knowing that the whole existence is an ocean of consciousness, and consciousness is that which, so there are 2 qualities of consciousness that we can all know. The fact that you know you are, of knowing and being. So there's a capacity of consciousness in which you are a being, meaning you are becoming, you are experiencing that moment. So today I want to look at how we prepare: presence, preparation, protection. So the theme of September is going to be based on those 3 key words: presence, preparation, and protection. And why are they relevant? The reason they're relevant is because we are moving now into this chaotic part of this timeline, so to speak, in which we will experience, or not necessarily we will experience, but the experience of the pent-up, suppressed anger, frustration, changes in social contracts. All of that is going to manifest itself as really in terms of riots, protests, lies, and counter lies, and political instability and social instability. And we can see that in states, in places like the USA, how many people are actually evacuating. In the words of Bob Marley, exodus, moving. They're moving away from these centers of violence, these centers of this rage that's starting to come through and making people feel unsecure and unsafe in various places. So while we can anticipate that this is a possibility, and the anticipation takes the shock away, that's the important thing. So we don't want to get freaked out about it, but we want to understand that this is a chaotic period of humanity in which there are many sudden changes. And these changes we'll already starting to see in climatic changes, as we said a few months back, that, and I feel that people haven't quite got the stage of understanding yet that their emotional state has the collective emotional state, let's call it that. The collective emotional vibration state, because emotions are nothing more than effectively a chemical that has a vibration to it, and therefore your emotions are the manifestations of vibrations. These vibrations, these collective vibrations, actually are mirrored in what we see around us. As absurd as this may sound, but there will come a time when the understanding of the indigenous communities who used to talk to the trees, talk to the wind, talk to the sky, talk to nature, the birds, animal forms, spirit forms, etc., etc. They weren't stupid. They weren't primitive. They understood consciousness manifests itself in many different ways and in many different forms. And we can communicate with it. We can communicate with it. Anyone who has worked with medicine plants will know that this is a very real phenomenon. that we go through. And it's important because once we begin to recognize that all that's around us is conscious, it knows just as you know. Maybe it hasn't got the intellect, but recently they found out that there is a science called neurobotany, I think it is. It's looking at the cognitive behavior of plants. Now, this throws the whole game into disrepute that you need a brain in order to have cognition, right? So, anyway, that's a different subject. So, what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about today how we can use our opportunity to start transforming what is going on. To remember, we began early days about just getting our situation in place, our health in place, and I cannot stress enough. Keep the immunity going. The immunity is critical. Physical immunity to do with what you eat, qigong, tai chi, yoga, and mental immunity, meditation, and keep away from the propaganda, the rubbish that's out there, because that rubbish out there is influencing so much in people's minds. So it's important to realize that, and that's connected to where I'm going with my talk today. The next thing is emotional immunity. Spend some time taking care of yourself. Take maybe even 20 minutes, but do something that nurtures your spirit as well. This is important. So physical immunity, mental immunity, emotional immunity. The transpersonal bit is taking care of itself, as we are starting to find out now. Understand that there is very little control that we can actually exercise apart from our attitude and our perception. Right. So up till now, so let me give you some understanding. Up till now, the last few months, 5-6 months, has created a mental space in which you could call it the kind of collective has become a paranoid. It's paranoid that it's going to get infected or is going to non-verbal communication. Makes you faceless, makes you speechless. You cannot talk. Your speech, your voice does not matter. From a isolated, faceless nobody who is now in a space of self-punishment by washing their hands over and over and over again, decontaminating anything that they come across, people they come across, individuals, anything that they touch, anything that they don't go to work. So all of this, three things: isolated, faceless, and self-contaminated. Now, it's really important to understand the symbolism behind these three things. The mask is the symbolism of one of them. So what do I mean by symbolism? Symbolism is sort of an indirect reference. There's a symbolic, an action that has a different meaning behind it. So the action of wearing the mask, on the face of it, excuse the pun there, may sound like you're protecting you and so forth. That's the action. But the symbolism behind that is that you are in fact faceless. You are in fact voiceless. That's the symbolism behind that. The symbolism behind washing your hands is the fact that you see yourself as a contaminant. You see yourself as dirty. Now, in the Abrahamic traditions, this used to be a punishment. That to wash your hands was a punishment, and you had like certain prescriptive times you had to wash your hands, or activities you had to do, and good reasons behind them, many good reasons behind them, in order for promoting hygiene, etc. But it was used as a punishment. So within the symbolism of washing your hands is the meaning of punishment, self-punishment. I am unclean. So isolated, masked, unclean, nobody How do we transform that? Well, the mask has been a article that has been used in every indigenous culture. The Indian cultures, the Thai culture, you can see some fantastic masks that they draw and they create. The shaman, the healer, what does a mask represent? The mask represents the healer. The mask represents the shaman. The mask represents the one who transforms reality. So when you take control of the symbolism, you begin to shift your consciousness. You're no longer now contaminated or decontaminating. No. The moment you have to wear that piece across your face, you become the shaman. Your social isolation has now taught you that you are independent and you can stand alone. You have the integrity to be able to hold your own. So use that, understand that, recognize that. And third thing, washing your hands. Make this a symbol of washing all this dark, corruption, parasitic, pedophilic world that is, or the controllers and the ones who are exercising a lot of the engineering movement, the stuff that we can see, with just a little bit of critical eye, without getting political about it. But you can see that this is the case. And so every time you wash your hands, remind yourself that you are washing this dirt. Redirect your focus. Where your focus goes, so does energy. And as energy goes, so does reality. Right? So we want co-creation and manifestation. We can certainly go through that. But these are the basic steps of you first taking some control as human beings out there. So from isolated individuals, you become the shaman who's connected to the divinity, the healer, the one who is able to stand by themselves. When you stand by yourself, the whole stands with you. Because your integrity is reflective. So if you can stand by your truth, and you have demonstrated isolation is a practice, it's enabled you to recognize that in yourself. So that is the second element. And the third element is wash your hands clean of this rubbish. What perception. And this changes our worldview. This change of our worldview is what we engage with reality, or what we consider to be reality for our purposes of conversation. The external world. What is in the micro is in the macro. Jo Brahmande so pinde, jo koje so pai. What is outside is within. If you search for it, you will discover it. Bhagat Benny, I think it was, who recited those immortal words. So where are we? We are now in a position of taking control of our sovereignty, becoming these healers, becoming these individuals who are there clearing the light out of this, or bringing the light into this darkness. So change your attitude, change your perception, and the reality around you will begin to change. Things are about to get serious from our understanding. And things, when I say are starting to get serious, there are implications from what we understand of what's happening and what is anticipated. With the weather changes, with the climatic changes, this is pretty much in line with our understanding that these are likely to become more and more prominent. Why are they becoming more prominent? Is because as humanity is being squeezed, that emotional response is therefore reflected in the environment around you, and we're going to see that. So it's something that can be anticipated if one understands how consciousness operates, our individual consciousness, our individual mental space, the ocean of consciousness that we're in. But this deconstruction that we are going through, this deconstruction that we are going through is also a moment of healing, a moment of healing, a moment of becoming, dealing with stuff that, we as humanity should have dealt with this. If we call ourselves civilized, we should have dealt with this 100 years ago. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So, as you begin to see some of the social structures starting to fragment, remember that as we get squeezed, we shift this awareness out, we shift these ripples outwards, and they impact. So you maintaining your sense of integrity, meditation, nothing's going to happen to you. Remain grounded, nothing is going to touch you. Not because Dove Panasar is saying this, no. Because you are so protected. You are so well looked after. As long as you bounce yourself out of your egoic space. It's the egoic space that takes us away from what we are. Remain with the source, remain embedded, understand all that is happening, needs to happen, because it is of healing the world itself. As absurd as it sounds. Why is it healing the world? Is because it is only when we come across suffering do we awaken. Do we want to go beyond the suffering? So the suffering that we may suffer as a result of the changes, see them as the triggers for your growth, your healing, your well-being. And the last thing I would say to you is that focus your awareness on gratitude, right? Just gratitude. We can look at all that's going upside down and topsy-turvy around us and become concerned about it and say, oh, look at the days, the way we used to be, the way we used to live. Let's not complain. Let's not complain. Gratitude simply means not complaining. So one of the ways that we can demonstrate this is we can do a little bit of self-check. What story am I telling myself and others? And try and steer away from complaining. There's no need to complain. In fact, give grace, give gratitude for anything and everything. Your breath, the fact that you have a bed to lie on, the fact that you can see through all this rubbish, the fact that you've discovered you are a healer that is independent, and you have the ability to wash this rubbish off your hands. Now, how good is that? How good is that? So, irrespective of what comes up, and we will keep you informed, and we would anticipate, and so there are three things, as we said. Presence within, but presence also of what's going on outside, right? We don't want to become these isolated monks, who meditate and don't care about the world. On the contrary, we care deeply. We care so much that we are able to speak our truth. We are able to speak our truth. You care so much that you can speak your truth. You can have a discussion. You can have a dialogue. That's all that matters. So, presence, preparation. Without wanting to kind of make anyone feel a little bit unstable or ungrounded, I would only share with you our practices with people. And so what you practice, you share to others. It's important to be able to look after yourself. It's important to be able to defend yourself in a world where things are a little bit unstable. So the Sikh worldview is we carry a little kirpan. I say a little kirpan, but it's knowing what to do with it. So it's important for us to be sovereign and know that we can look after ourselves. Important. It's really important. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you are. Make sure that, don't take things for granted the way they were. It's important to prepare. Look, changes are afoot. And if you can't see them, then it's perhaps just people like me who are paranoid. But if you can't see them, I would still suggest that it's important to ensure that you are prepared for yourself. You're prepared for people around you. Just be a bit vigilant. Just make sure that if your credit card can't work for a few days, you have enough food. Who are your neighbors? Who are the people that live around you? Who are the people who can help you in times of uncertainty? Time to build that communal spirit, time to bring that back together. The ancient science, the ancient medicine, ancient ways of living are going to become our new civilization, whether we like it or not. So know that you're looked after, know that all is good. Um, my our responsibility is to share with you what we are privileged to be shared with, and to make sure that provide everyone with situations that we're going through, but not to worry. All of it is as it needs to be. Remember that all of it is exactly as it needs to be, good or bad according to you. Okay. So today we're going to go into meditation. Um, we'll do a little bit of a basic becoming present. We will move towards our heart, and then we will try and invoke something that we are grateful for in that moment. Right. So I will help hopefully direct you, and then we'll see where we end up. So when you're ready, just ensure that your eyes are closed, your mouth is closed. Loosen your neck a little bit and just make sure your shoulders are not hunched. So a good way to do that is to hunch them and drop them. So eyes are closed, mouth is closed. Draw slow, deep breath in. Becoming aware of your body as best as you can. Don't rush into anything. Take your time. See if you can notice the whole body is there an outline to your body? Like a defined outline? Do you know where the tip of your nose is, for argument's sake? Or is there just a sense? It's about that. Are you aware of what you're sitting on? Are your thighs relaxed? Allow them to soften a bit. So your body, or should I say your skeleton, is upright and erect, but the flesh on your body is softened. It's relaxed. Breathing in, taking a moment to scan yourself from the top, what's going on within yourself. Anything dominant in your body, like a pain, an ache, locate it. See if you can locate a size to it or a shape to it. If there's anything dominant in your body. Now bring your focus to whatever you're sitting on. Notice the sensation. Notice the sensations where your body makes contact with whatever you're sitting on. Shape of those sensations. Are they just diffused or are they very defined? From those sensations, as you breathe in, bring your focus upwards towards your hips. And as you breathe out, bring this focus down your thighs, all the way to your knees. From your knees, move your focus down towards your ankles, From your ankles, become aware of your feet, the soles of your feet. Now move your focus back to whatever you're sitting on. Notice how well grounded you are, meaning that whatever you're sitting on holds you in place. You can't be anywhere else. You are in fact embedded in the environment you're in, or your physical space, your physical body is embedded on the ground, you're embedded. Move your focus to your lower back. Next breath in, move your focus up to your middle back. And you can notice what your chest is doing as well. And then move your focus up towards your shoulder blades, up towards your shoulders. Bring this awareness down towards your elbows, your wrists, the palms of your hands, and the fingers on your hands. Bring your focus to your face. Allow it to relax and soften. Take your focus to your eyes. Notice the darkness behind your eyelids. So in other words, you are still have awareness even though your eyes are closed. Allow your eyes to soften. Take your focus to your mouth, in particular your tongue. Allow it to soften. Notice the sensations at the back of your tongue, and then all the way across your tongue, all the way to the tip. Notice the sensations within your mouth. And allow your jaw to relax. Allow your face to relax. So as you breathe in again, notice your body as best as you can. Sense it. Notice if there's anything dominant there. Now bring your focus to your chest. How do you feel in this moment of now? Is this moment enough? Is it complete? Or is there something missing? If there's something missing, what is it? This moment, just this moment. On your next breath out, open your awareness, begin to listen to the sounds around you. Allow these sounds to come towards you. Not looking for them, not evaluating them, not judging them. And just follow the sound of this bell as far as you can. And again. When you really bring your focus beneath your nose, begin to notice your breath. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. And all you're doing at this stage is simply becoming aware of the breath as it comes in, aware of the breath as it goes out. Notice that your in-breath has a start, a middle, and an end, and your out-breath has a start, a middle, and an end. Notice the start and the end of your in-breath. Notice the start and the end of your out-breath. Stay with your breath. Bring your focus to the sound of your breath. Try and listen to the in-breath as it comes in. Try and listen to the out-breath as it goes out. As the breath comes in, mentally say the sound har. I will repeat it aloud. See if you can follow this within your mind. So you stay within your mind, har as the breath comes in, har as the breath goes out. You're just simply reciting this in your mind. Har on the breath in, har on the breath out. Listening to the sound as you mentally recite, in rhythm with your breath. If your breath is long, the sound is long. If your breath is short, the sound is short. Synchronize it with your breath. As your breath comes in, saying the sound har to yourself. As the breath goes out, saying har. Har, H-A-R. Har, 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 har. Now begin to lower the volume of this sound within your mind. Make the effort to lower it gradually, breath by breath. Every time you breathe out, it becomes a little bit more silent. Allowing the sound to get lower and lower. Now bring your focus to your chest. Hold your focus there while the pulse of the heart still resounds within you. Hold your focus at your chest, saying the sound har as in a most silent mental recitation you can do without struggling. Listening. Follow the sound of this bell towards the silence from where you can hear the heart. Heart is the ocean you are surrounded with and that which you are made of. Heart is the silence that contains all. Stay with the silence, stay with the stillness, stay with the listening. Notice the qualities of your experience. Notice the peacefulness. Notice the timeless nature of this moment. A calm without time. Notice that this moment has no fear, no hate, no greed, no anger. This moment creates itself, has no birth, self-creating. And notice your unchanging nature, your consciousness, your unchanging nature embedded in this moment of now. Give thanks to this moment of peace. The intention to smile is enough to give thanks. Gently bring your focus back to your breath. Notice how you're breathing. Take your focus to whatever you're sitting on. Notice you're still in the same place. Notice you can sense your body where it touches, makes contact with your seat. Notice you can sense your thighs, your knees, all the way down to your feet. Notice that your back is still straight and upright. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your arms, hands are comfortable. Your eyes are still closed. Your mouth is still closed. Your face is relaxed. Breathing in, you can sense your body. Breathing out, you can sense your body. Breathing in, you can sense your body. Breathing out, you can sense your body. Begin to draw slow, deeper breaths in. And when you hear the bell, draw a few deep breaths in. And when you're ready, gently bringing yourself back. Bring some of that space back with you if you can. Wait for the bell. Welcome back. I'll leave you with these thoughts. You are a magician, you are a healer, you are a shaman. You are independent, you are alone, but the whole stands with you. And you have the ability to wash all this corruption off your hands. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, may you be safe. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ